Hey, it's Derek with your weekly market update as far as mortgage rates. We've got some really good news to deliver on this. If you haven't seen it already, the US and Iran did agree to a 2-week ceasefire to try to work out diplomatically through negotiations as far as an end to this conflict. So, definitely good seeing that. Markets have responded really well today. Mortgage rates have come down pretty well today, and that trend has continued over the last week. So, as we've kind of talked about the last several weeks, we are starting to see that reversal continue to come through and mortgage rates continue to head lower, like we have been talked about would likely be the case as we would get nearer to a resolution and an end to this conflict. However, with that being said, we do still need to be on guard. Both sides have kind of talked about what their proposals for peace are, and looking at it at first glance, it does seem like there is still a gap that they need to work through as far as what both sides are looking for as far as a resolution to all of this. So we'll be keeping a very, very close eye on it, but at least good to see that there's progress happening there in this coming to an end potentially. So if we do continue to see progress on that side, we will likely see the markets continue to react positively to this. Mortgage rates should continue to come down. The price of oil from just where it closed yesterday to today had dropped about 16%. We saw it go from somewhere in the ballpark about 113 down to $92 a barrel. So that is good to see as far as that. Forward looking from here, there's a few items that are going to be coming up that could have an impact one way or another. Now, some of this will be a little bit dated as far as the information and data that's coming out. We will get some notes from the Federal Reserve from their last meeting today. Now, that's about 3 weeks old, so some of the things won't really be quite as relevant anymore because a lot has changed between now and then, but still be interesting to see where their thoughts were regarding the increase in oil prices that had happened. And then we'll get some inflation data here to end out the week as well. So we get PCE coming out tomorrow, the personal consumption expenditures report. That is the Federal Reserve's favorite measure of inflation that they typically look at and base their decisions off of if they're going to cut rates, raise rates, whatever it might be. And so that is something that will be going now. This is for the month of February for that report. So this will not have the data baked in from what happened in March as far as oil prices and that impact to inflation data. However, on Friday, we get the CPI, the consumer price index on that side, and that will be for March. So I think the Friday report is probably going to be the one that will get a little more attention to it, as that will have the impact in oil prices as well as just kind of everything that's happened through March with the conflict. And so that one's going to get more attention from the markets most likely and could have an impact there. But with the ceasefire, it almost tempers it a little bit in that it's expected to be kind of a one-time impact for the month of March. There'll be a little carryover through April, of course, as well, but be interesting to see what happens there. So overall, really good signs in the mortgage rate market right now that we're seeing, and seeing things kind of move higher on that. And just to put this into context a little bit so you can see it visually in addition to just me talking about it. So this is a chart of mortgage-backed securities trading on this. So this is what mortgage rates are based off of, is where mortgage-backed securities trade. And you can see on this report here, on this graph, where we see red on this chart once it loads here. So you can see red means rates were getting worse, green means rates were getting a little better that day, and we want to see things moving higher. So you can see where things kicked off with Iran here at the beginning of March. It was kind of an increase in rates for almost the entire month. We did start to stabilize and make a little bit of a reversal here right at the tail end of March, and we've continued to see this move up here so far today. Now, I know today the candle is red, but overall rates are still better today, and you can kind of see this visually with that trend pretty clearly moving up in this direction. So right now, we would expect things to kind of continue moving this direction as long as the ceasefire holds and it seems like progress is being made. I would expect we would likely see things continue to head in this direction. But any comments from Federal Reserve members, the inflation data that comes out on Friday could move this one way or another, but definitely good signs. And you can see most of the impact from starting here in March and going this way has been made back. So things are still overall in a very, very good spot on that side. So we're keeping a close eye there, and we'll continue to keep you updated with any additional developments on that side of things. And if there's any numbers you want to see run on properties that you're interested, like we always talk about, just let us know. Things can move very quickly. Sometimes we're seeing rates change by as much as a quarter, 3/8% from one day to the next. So definitely a lot of movement there, but right now in a positive direction, definitely helping us out. There are a lot of multiple offer situations right now. Sometimes closing a little bit faster can be something that helps your offer stand out in addition to what your actual offer price is. So feel free to check in with us to see how fast of a closing we can do to try and make your offer stand out the most on that side. The pre-approval guarantee definitely can come into play, as well as that closing guarantee. So lots of good signs right now. Seems like a little more inventory is coming to the market as well. And let us know if there's any questions or anything at all that we can do for you. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you again here soon. Take care.